Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Platform Productions Cold Cuts with Caroline Lesme's The Broadcast. This is the show where none of the actors have ever read the script until they're on screen, and they say, hey, we have the script now. Last time on The Broadcast, the inspector... I'm having technical... there we go. Last time on The Broadcast, Felicity sets out to discover who made the threatening phone call. Artie becomes increasingly hard to work with, and John and Felicity get closer. Meanwhile, at Sterling Manor, the inspector interviews each subject on their whereabouts at the time of the murder. The house guest and the gardener get hot and heavy, and the doctor relives his military days. And then the gardener turns up dead. And when the cast pulls out of the recording, Artie has disappeared on a completely meta twist. Ooh. So I would like to go through and introduce your cast for tonight. Cast, could you please give your name, who you are playing, and what you think may have happened to Artie? Because we don't know. So first off, we have Paige Elena.
Hello, my name is Paige Elena. I'm playing Felicity in The Heiress, and I'm hoping Artie's just like on a coffee run or something. I really hope there is that big dramatic, my God, where's Artie moment, and then this script opens with him opening the door and being like, "Hey guys, right here, like we're okay, we're fine." I think that'd be the fun twist.
See, I like that the most. I think it's very
Me too.
anticlimactic, and I always find those kinds of twists hilarious.
I think I think anticlimactic. I think this is just slowly going to become a very normal story, and then nothing happens, and no one gets murdered, and we're all fine.
But we're still riveted because I love Lesnie's script. And yeah. So I love the twist and turns, but then the solutions are mundane. I think that's really fun, and it takes a really clever writer, and it takes some great acting on all of your parts to get us to be in suspense every week. But we'll see. Exactly. We'll see if Artie shows up with those coffees. Well, last time Felicity and Missy had to go run the errands. Let Artie do it sometimes, right?
Make Artie do it.
I don't think Artie does it.
And up next is Eric Anderson.
Hey everyone, Eric. I play Artie and the gardener if he's still alive. Artie if he's still alive as well. Yep. I think that Artie's still hungover at this point. I think he's just, pulling the trigger in the bathroom, just getting all the bad juju out, and he's gonna be coming out right as rain.
So he's having a detox moment?
Yes, exactly.
Pulling trigger was not the phrase to use. That was very misleading in this context.
And there we go. Yes, we have Maggie Behan.
I am Maggie Behan. I'm playing Missy in The Inspector. I think that whether or not Artie committed a murder, I do think he's running from his conscience because he's a terrible person. But I do like the idea of the stakes just steadily lowering every week. That would be really funny. But Artie's a bad person, no matter whether or not he's a murderer. And I think the gardener killed himself. No one asked me that, but that's what I think.
No, I want you to elaborate on the gardener killing himself. Why do you think that?
I just want to pin all the blame on Eric. That's
Everyone
all I got.
Seems to be wanting to pin the blame on Eric.
So easy to pin it on me. Poor Artie.
Should play the unlikable characters more likably. Sorry.
Hey, at least they're talking about you.
No press is bad press.
I'm fine in the Joffrey zone if that's where my niche is. I mean, I'd rather not, but you take what you can get.
Up next, we have Emery Chase.
I'm Emery. I'm playing Irene and the house guest. And I think that either Artie just like left because he saw that his character died and he was like so pissed because he's a drama queen and he was just like, I'm out of here. Or maybe he got a booty call from his Netflix and chill to horror movies. That's a possibility. As for the gardener, I mean, it's not looking good for me. I'm making out in a car with the guy and then he turns up dead. Like, I don't know.
Oh, you've got some big Black Widow energy there.
I might be in some trouble here. end on a great note. I think I might have killed somebody.
Don't worry about it. Don't
Sorry,
worry about it.
Okay. Thanks, babe. Glad it's all right with you.
It got better.
But I should be nicer to Eric because, we did have to go through the shared trauma of like unexpectedly having to read a makeout scene together. So I got to lighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you two
Slightly
were great
dramatic.
last week. Very, very, as we say in the improv world, very yes and of you both. So good job for just looking at that and being like, we're gonna go for it. It was
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
Great moment of acting there.
I think that actually
applause.
helped because, like, if I had known that was coming, I feel like I would have totally faked
No, it's
myself
true.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like,
So-
okay, no time. I guess we're just doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Well, no, and it was what I liked about it is that because we don't have time to think about it and we don't have time to overthink it either. And because of that, we got this really fun, raw, let's just do it energy. And it was a great scene because of that. So
And never
job,
again because
both.
he's dead.
Yes.
The relationship ended.
well,
Never say never.
yeah. We might have flashbacks.
Do we think, oh, we might have flashbacks. It's
Yeah.
true. The gardener
I
Or
went
was on.
straight to
necrophilia
making out
even.
with a
There are
ghost.
ways. Yeah.
Oh,
I immediately thought
wish.
making out with a ghost.
I
and I was like,
wish.
now that I'd watch.
Oh, so now we're getting into Patrick Swayze territory here.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
That's your
think
real
Artie can
niche.
pull
There's
it off, I
Joffrey
don't
and then
know.
there's Patrick Swayze. So you pick.
Yeah, those are the two male character archetypes in Hollywood.
Totally,
Like you're either a
yeah.
Joffrey or a Patrick Swayze kid. There's one or the
True.
other.
Cannot wait to hear the gardener help with making pottery. Very excited.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
All right. Up next, we have Kevin Hauger.
That's me. I'm Kevin. I'm reading the John and the Doctor. And I don't know what the heck happened to Artie. I'm gonna say this because we need to put this idea on the board, is that I think he was killed. What that has to be one of the options that we put in the multiple choice test among all this ridiculousness. I know.
Fair, but then no one gets coffee that way.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. He's back with coffee in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Do you want to deprive the rest of the cast of caffeine?
Yeah, there's all kinds of murder, and psychological murder is one of them. You get rid of the coffee guy, you get rid of the whole cast. That's all it takes.
Look, as performing artists, all of us know all too well the value of caffeine.
Exactly.
It's an important and noble role to be the coffee man. But yeah, he might also be dead. Maybe he was killed on the way from coffee running and
The
like
martyr of
dramatically
coffeedom.
yeah. It's like the number of times we've had to see Bruce Wayne's mom's pearls breaking. It's just we'll always see the coffee in slow motion. Just
Exactly.
falling onto the concrete. Up next, we have James Johnston.
Hey everyone, James Johnston, Sebastian and the Suitor. I went back through the scripts. I never talked to Artie. He doesn't exist. It's like a Sixth Sense thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I called it.
But Sixth Sense, where everyone else is sensing him being alive and not you, or you're the
No, a bunch
Sixth
of
Sense
characters
guy?
don't talk to him.
We're all
Oh
the
my gosh.
ghosts.
Yeah.
Wait, who
he's the
does
talk to
only
Artie?
living person.
I don't know,
Well,
I'm just
Artie.
kidding. I don't read scripts twice.
Oh my god. That would have been
You
amazing.
had. I just believed you were that committed.
No, I 100%
Really good at
believed
Among
you.
Us and gaslighting.
Ooh, yes, I
Ask
think
anyone I know.
We'll
I
hear
don't know,
about
dude.
that
Killer
later.
then.
Maybe he's not really Felicity's brother. Maybe he's like a sock puppet that she keeps with her and everyone pretends that he's a real person just to kind of like coddle her because they don't want
This
to
is
rock
all
the
a
boat.
make-a-wish for
It-
Felicity.
Aw. Aw.
Aww.
Dad.
That's why you gotta
Is
skip me on the
threatening
questions.
phone call part of the make-a-wish?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really specific wish.
Felicity kidnapped all these people so she could enact some like elaborate murder mystery where she's the final girl, like the horror
Make-A-Wish
movie
did
thing.
not
Yeah.
hire people. They
No,
just
this was not
kidnapped them.
Make-A-Wish.
Make a wish to put yourself in Michael Douglas's The Game.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're canceling cold
Think
cuts. We're
good.
gonna live stream Michael Douglas's The Game.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm laughing so hard on the inside and on the outside. All right. Well, who do you think made the threatening phone call to Felicity and don't say Felicity? Do you think
We'll
we
make
figured
a
that
witch
out?
compelling.
foundation, obviously.
I think we solved that.
I'm going through my call list from last night. There were so many. It really could have been. She could have ended up in. Oh, like in the show. Yeah, I don't know.
They do supposedly eliminate Missy, but I actually don't
You
think
could
it
have
was
been
her
lying.
because I think Missy would be proud of the fact that if she gave a genuinely threatening phone call, she'd be like, "Look at how great my acting is."
It's like on her
That's
reel the
valid.
next day.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that necessarily. I think she's exonerated not because she's the world's greatest friend, but because I think she'd just be too proud of herself.
I agree.
To
I
do her own
inspected Missy
ego.
and she's innocent.
Yeah, it's like, great job with that death threat, girl. So proud. What a real
Yeah.
girl boss.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
I think that Felicity's extended car warranty is just like about like really, really close to expiring. They had to start taking some drastic measures on that one.
They got to get the calls back any way they can.
Yeah.
But plot twist though.
I feel like
She's
maybe
already-
it was someone who's not in the cast. I don't know if it was one of the main people who
yeah.
made the phone call, because I don't think like John
Interesting.
clearly has a thing for Felicity. Irene and Felicity seems like they have a pretty good relationship. Sebastian hasn't really talked to her. So like, I mean, like, I guess it could be him. It's not Artie, because even though he's a jerk, he's still her brother and he seems to care about her. So I feel like there's some like external villain
I
that's
don't
not
know
any
if
of
the
us.
viewers can see this, but like on our Zoom call for the past couple of weeks, there's just been another actor named Zach / the actual killer, who's been muted
Wait,
and
what?
off cam the whole
It
time.
could be him, yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't even seen this. What?
James, you just broke the biggest NDA in our contract.
All right, Zach, come on
how do you feel
out.
about
Come on,
that?
Zach.
Introducing Zach.
Hi, everybody.
What? Oh my God.
I actually
No,
That's a good point though, because I was starting to think that John was real sus in the last episode, like quoting his own scripted people, and I was
That
like,
is
shoot,
very
but
strange.
I don't think he would make the
I
call,
would do that.
even if
I
he's
don't
a
trust
murderer.
any male screenwriter who references their own script unproud.
Exactly.
Always
Yeah.
do
Like
that.
what kind of?
I can
I think
respect that. You got to be your own biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, of course, Missy. Of course.
Yeah, I don't think that makes him a killer, but it's definitely like, dude, that was not the move. Quoting
Yeah.
your own screenplay that
Yeah.
she is in her moment of grief. Like,
In
Yeah.
John's defense,
Grief, but
neither of them are
terror.
good at flirting. They're both
Yeah.
terrible at
Fair
flirting, and I
enough,
think
yeah.
that's why it works.
Yeah, and it's not malicious. He just did a little bit of a stupid.
I think John is so stressed and into Felicity that he made the call in order for her to panic and be like, "Oh,
He was,
Lord,
like,
my
trying to ask her
stars, what
out.
will I do?"
Oh,
Trying to
wow.
ask
So
her on a
it's-
date, and he
It's
just
like
fucked him
fucked
so
up.
bad.
It's like a critic. Like he rolled a 1.
Exactly. It's a
And he's like,
nat
"How
one
weird,
kinda
I have no
ask
idea
out.
It
what
wasn't
would
even
have
like
called
it was a
you."
distorted voice, but it was really just his voice cracking all over the place because he was so scared.
Oh, they said
Whatever,
He had- he had, like,
please
bad
come out.
self-service.
So any final thoughts that have nothing to do with Artie? Let's just take Artie off the table.
Those are
For
all
the
the
final
final I have.
thoughts.
Ooh, did I make the phone call because they had me do the voice? Is it meta?
Oh,
Probably
wow.
not. I'm sure that was picked at random. But
That
But-
I'm
Zach
wondering
wasn't there
like,
that
how
day. His
many
internet cut out.
production decisions are made.
It's
like
all
literally,
clues.
it was me. Does that mean it was me?
I've watched National Treasure. I know how to find a clue when I see one.
So, how can we rank everybody's detective skills from National Treasure to real?
Wait, are you trying to say that National Treasure is
Oh,
not?
I'm not saying anything. I just made a scale. I don't know things.
I don't know. I think I'm right at Nick Cage, which in my mind is top of the pyramid.
That's pretty close to real, actually, on my scale as well. Yeah, National Treasure, Nick Cage, real.
There we go. Yeah.
Do you think Nick Cage did it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's
That was
my
part
prediction.
of the Make-A-Wish.
Let's go.
She
Let's
wanted
roll.
to meet Nick
Nick
Cage.
Cage.
It has to be Nick
He'll do
Cage.
anything. $100.
Oh yeah. He's got no standards.
He's pretty chaotic.
He's the secret cast member who's actually the killer.
Another NDA just broke.
/ Nick Cage.
All right.
Do you think he's getting paid the same as us?
Yeah,
probably
I do
less.
actually.
Less.
probably less.
Because we know how to
Prisoners of the
negotiate.
Ghostland now in theaters. Go see it. It's awesome. He gets his balls blown off halfway through. Spoilers.
Oh, wow. Thanks. I was actually going to go see it.
Do we read plays on this thing?
Yes. And actually,
Only occasionally.
platform, will you please send all of our actors the script now? Actors, please remember to change your names to your characters so we can follow along. And once you have received your script, give us a thumbs up so we know that you're ready to go. In the meantime, we would love to hear from our live audience what your predictions are for the show. They can have to do with Artie because we've already exhausted that topic of conversation among us, but not among you. What do you think? Who killed the gardener? What happened to Artie? Who made the creepy phone call to Felicity? Any other predictions or insights or thoughts that you might have? Maybe someone turns up dead again. How many bodies do you think we're going to see? 2. You've just got the one. Would love to hear more from the audience. Caroline Lesney, the author of this piece, says that National Treasure is the apex.
Thank you, Caroline. Someone with sense.
How do I pull up the chat if I want to argue with them?
You can't. You have a role to play. Starlord 51 says Nick Cage, no question about it. So yeah, you know what? I think from now on, Nick Cage is the primary suspect. And now
Guilty
we are
until
ready to
proven
go.
innocent.
And we will now be going into the broadcast. Episode 3, The Art of the Deal by Caroline Lesney. On the front lawn of Sterling Manor. In the shadow of the grand house, the characters stand surrounding the body of the murdered gardener. The house guest weeps quietly in the background.
Dead. Definitely. No pulse.
Time of death.
I couldn't definitively
Take a guess.
answer. He's still warm. Within a half hour, I'd say.
Thank you, doctor.
It's horrible. Just horrible.
Who found him like this?
I did. I just came out to get some air and he was just lying there all covered in... God, it's awful.
Who would do this? He didn't want any of this. He didn't want any of this.
Forgive me. Would you? I just blood is. I'm not good with. If there weren't so much blood.
Doctor, could you escort the young man and lady into the parlor?
Of course. Some tonic, perhaps?
Excellent idea. Ms. Westwood, with me.
The doctor and his charges hurry away across the grass toward the house.
Oh, let me go too, Inspector. Why would you possibly keep me?
You found him, madam, and I know you can handle it.
The inspector approaches the body and crouches down to examine it. The heiress takes a shaky breath and a step back.
So let's see. 5 stab wounds to the abdomen, clumsily done or with a rather dull object, plus what looks to be blunt force trauma to the head. Not enough to kill him, but enough to incapacitate him, maybe. Shame that makes it harder to narrow down.
Why?
If he was hit from behind and fell unconscious, it would have taken a lot less force to overpower him. Could have been a woman or a child, for all we know.
So any of us.
Unfortunately. But I rather think... No, best not draw conclusions yet. Do you know who was with him last?
Well, the doctor mentioned on his way to see you that they'd shared a cigarette after breakfast, and well, you've met her, my guest, I suppose. She's been with me since lunch, so that just leaves...
The young gentleman from down the road, yes.
You know, now that I mention it, I did see the gardener heading toward the garage earlier. Perhaps he was going to help with his car?
Well spotted. I'll look into that. But first, I'd like to see where the poor man lived.
Of course. It's a rather long walk, if that's all right.
I shall endeavor to keep up.
You want me to come?
Well, of course. How else should I find it?
Inspector, I don't know that
I don't wish to be rude, but I wasn't asking. To be frank, Ms. Westwood, I'm not sure you're entirely safe here with the rest of them. I'd rather keep you by my side.
Well, then I guess I'm coming with you, aren't I?
Artie's apartment the next morning, and Felicity is tapping away at her phone. She types frantically, sends one text, then another in quick succession. She dials a number. The line starts to ring.
Come on, Artie, pick up.
The call rings out. A muffled message, then a beep.
Where the hell are you? This is really irresponsible, Artie. You know a lot of people are depending you. Pick up your damn phone.
She hangs up violently and throws the phone into the couch cushions. She takes a deep breath, picks up the phone, and dials again. The phone rings out. Another beep from the voicemail.
I'm sorry, Artie. Call me back, will you? I'm worried.
She hangs up. Almost instantly, her phone starts to ring.
Artie?
Felicity, where are you? We were scheduled to start at 10.
What?
Just get over here. We're on a tight schedule.
Okay, what about Artie?
He's dead. We don't need him. His character is dead. Look, I'm sure he's fine. He's probably just off with whatever new girl he's seeing. Didn't you say there's someone new?
Grace.
Right. So he's probably with her, strung out on whatever drug liquor combo is popular in the tablets this week. That might not be how they do things in where did he move from again?
Where did I move from?
Okay, maybe that's not how they do things there, but in LA, that's a regular Saturday night. But believe me, he's fine. Felicity?
Okay.
So
what?
are you on your way?
Yeah, I'll be there in a few. Just give me...
He hangs up. She sighs and gets up to collect her things. Meanwhile, at the manor, the doctor, the suitor, and the house guest sit in stony silence in the high-ceilinged parlor.
Does anyone want a drink?
Want one? Yes. Have one? My supply has been dry for a week.
I won't tell if you won't.
She pulls the flask from her garter and shakes it at him.
You're a wonder.
The house guest goes to the bookshelf and opens a cabinet drawer, pulling out a crystal tumbler.
You want one, Buster Keaton?
I'd better not.
Suit yourself.
She takes 2 glasses and pours, then hands one to the doctor. They clink glasses.
Cheers.
To life.
They both drink. The doctor sighs satisfactorily.
Why'd they ever get rid of this stuff?
Wasn't it folks like you saying it would kill us?
It will.
He drinks again. The house guest sits on a poof, drinking quietly for a moment while the suitor stares out the window.
Well, I might as well say what we're all thinking.
I'd rather you not.
There's a murderer on the loose. How else are we supposed to figure out who?
Wait for the inspector, presumably.
The fact is, somebody here killed the old man, and now the gardener's been bumped off to cover something up. My money's on the houseboy, personally.
Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
Nice of you to join in the conversation. Do you want to explain yourself?
I think he's suggesting that you had the most to gain.
Me?
The suitor stands suddenly, working himself into a frenzy.
Yes! Why not say it? You're broke! You lost it all abroad, and forgive me, but you're a liar! A money-seeking, pompous braggart. And that's exactly the type of person who would kill for money.
For money?
Yes, for money! Wars have been fought for less.
So they have. And the gardener, he must have found out about your finances. Do you deny it?
No,
And you were afraid he'd expose you, yes!
I could never.
So you knocked the poor man down and cut his throat open.
I loved him. I loved him. I tell you, how could I ever kill? Yes, I lost everything in Monaco. Miss Westwood knows that. Why else do you think she'd be letting me stay? I'm not the only one struggling. What about you, doctor? Working for your keep all these years under your best friend's employment?
4 years without complaint. If I wanted Westwood dead for his money, I could have done it a decade ago.
And you, cut off without a penny, nowhere to go but a wealthy single woman's bed. If money is the motive, you both have more reason than I.
Cut off, sir?
Tell him! Tell him why.
I think I'd
Suitor-
better. I think I'd better retire. Excuse me.
He scurries out of the room. A short silence. Then the house guest drains her glass.
Another drink, Doctor?
I rather think so, don't you?
She pours. Back in the recording studio. Rehearsal has not yet begun. Felicity comes quietly in. Everyone else is gathered on the couches, listening to Missy and Sebastian in the midst of an impassioned argument.
Look, I'm just saying that if you want to properly examine the history of storytelling, you have to consider that certain genders,
Oh, don't make
sexualities,
this a
races
feminism
have all
thing.
historically been sharing their perspectives.
That's not what I was talking about.
It is. You're claiming that military alignment in drama makes a character inherently sympathetic
Yes, veterans of a certain era.
when the vast majority of characters in our consciousness were written by white men.
So you're saying women can't write military stories?
No, of course not. I'm saying women and, say, Japanese Americans might be less inclined to sympathize with the soldier because of the way those groups have historically been treated by the military.
Okay, what about Inglorious Bastards? Those characters do horrible things, but we're okay with it because they're soldiers.
We're okay with it because they're Jewish and killing literal Nazis. Anyway, that's not the point. I'm just saying if you really want to point audience's affections a particular way, you might want to rethink your strategy.
All right. I'm just trying to evoke the established murder mystery canon.
So, Christy, then.
No, not that pulpy formulaic crap. Real stuff like Hitchcock and Scorsese.
Like Hitchcock isn't formulaic.
Actually, I looked a lot at Christy when I was writing. She's the master of the whodunit.
Hey, I don't want people guessing the answer before we're done.
Neither do I. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's a little late for a rewrite.
John's script is actually subtle, but your take on it is going to ruin that.
Hello, Felicity.
Okay, guys, we should get started.
What was that?
What was what?
That end to your argument. You just stopped talking.
We didn't have anything else to say.
But it was like cut off. It was weird. You don't think that was weird?
What are you talking about?
Hey, are you feeling all right? I know you're worried about Artie, but...
No, that's not what I meant.
Maybe sit down for a minute.
You've got to be kidding me. None of you saw that?
Saw what, Felicity?
Nothing. I'll be ready in a minute. Bathroom.
She hurries from the room. In the bathroom. The tap is running. Felicity takes a deep breath and splashes her face with water. A soft knock at the door.
Felicity, are you all right?
Felicity opens the door. John steps inside awkwardly, and she shuts the door behind him.
What's going on with me, John?
What's wrong?
Everybody is so unconcerned about Artie, and I know he's a grown-up and he can handle himself, but I just have this feeling like something's wrong.
He
She
hasn't
turns off the
texted?
tap.
No, nothing.
I know you don't want to hear this, but he probably is fine.
It's odd. I keep having this thought, this weird thought that...
That what?
Nothing. Never mind. We should go.
She reaches for the door handle, opens the door a crack. Jean pushes it shut again suddenly.
Wait. This might not be anything. Actually, it's probably not, but... are you free after this?
Yeah, of course I am. Why?
Because I think I might know where he is.
On the grounds of Sterling Manor. The inspector and the heiress shut the door of the gardener's residence behind them. The lock jangles unhappily, sending a group of birds cawing out of the tree and into the air.
Well, that wasn't much, was it?
I'm afraid he never had much. His father was a gardener for most of his life, a wonderful old man. We're very sorry to lose him.
What's that building there?
That? Oh, well, that's the greenhouse. We don't use it much anymore. Oh, Inspector!
She has started off the path toward the greenhouse. The heiress follows.
Who has the keys?
It should be unlocked. I don't know if it's safe.
Looks fine to me. What's it used for?
The old gardener used to grow vegetables. Now it's only used on and off during the winter months, but no one's been in all summer.
Then why are the lights on?
They come right up to the greenhouse. The inspector rattles the glass door, but it doesn't open.
Unlocked, you say?
Without warning, she smashes a panel of glass and reaches inside toward the handle.
Good gracious.
Oldest trick there is. Glass doors are never really locked.
She pushes the door open and the two women step inside, crunching the broken glass underfoot.
It smells. What is that?
Could be dead plants, chemicals. Ah, or that.
Oh my God.
The inspector kicks a barrel. It makes a hollow wooden echo.
Not quite a bathtub gin, is it?
It's a brewery?
Quite an elaborate one, yes.
He was brewing alcohol in the greenhouse?
By this setup, I'd say more than brewing. Bootlegging, more like.
I don't believe it.
You'd better. Look at all this stuff, Christ.
She fiddles with rubber tubes, metal faucets, clinging tin funnels. The heiress drops onto a wooden crate.
Well, I had no idea. How could he have been doing this all this time?
You said it yourself. No one comes in here in the summer and no one but him after that. It would have been easy for him to cover this up. Bootleggers are crafty. They learn tricks from the city-wise bigwigs. But here's the really interesting part. If he had gotten himself wrapped up in something, say in debt or unable to supply someone's important demand, then it's possible that the murders aren't connected at all.
I think I'd better go. I need to lie down. It's been quite the day.
Of course. I'll join you in the house shortly.
You'll stay the night, Inspector. I'll have the guest room made up for you.
Thank you. It would be safer, I think. And, Ms. Westwood?
Yes?
If you need anything, call for me.
The heiress hurries out of the greenhouse. Downtown Los Angeles. This part of the city is noisy and foreign to Felicity. Cars whiz by and she and John hurry down the sidewalk. John stops suddenly, turning toward a pharmacy's faded storefront.
Wait there.
Where are we?
Trying to get a lead on your brother.
What, at the doctor?
It's not that kind of pharmacy.
John goes up to the graffiti-tagged and papered-over windows of the pharmacy and taps on the glass.
Hello?
What are you doing? This place looks condemned.
It is.
He knocks on the glass harder.
Hello? Anyone there? It's a friend of Drew's.
I don't like this, John. I mean, why would Artie be?
The bolt on the front door scrapes open and the door swings out suddenly with a crinkle of paper and a rusty bell.
Come on, get inside quick.
Stay here.
Are you kidding? I'm coming.
Let's go.
Felicity and John scramble into the pharmacy. The unfamiliar man, Quinn, shuts the door behind them with a bang.
What are you doing here? Drew sent you?
Quinn, I'm looking for information.
Who's this?
She's a friend.
Can I trust your friends anymore, John? I haven't heard from Drew in weeks.
Neither have I.
Then what are you doing here?
I just want to talk.
You want to buy. You want to talk. Let's cut the prologue.
Where's Artie, Quinn?
Probably off on a job, I don't know.
And when's the last time you heard from him?
Why should I tell you that? What the hell is going on here?
This is his sister.
Felicity coughs, shifts her feet on the dirty floor.
Hello, sister. What do you want? Some sort of family discount? Nice try.
No, she...
Artie's missing. No one can get a hold of him. No one knows where he is, but for some reason, John thinks you might. So, do you?
Oh, it's so sweet. He hasn't texted you back, huh? You don't know where he is? Are you worried?
Yes, I'm worried. Is that what you want me to say? Or...
Are you worried about your poor widow brother?
John, what are we doing here? Who is this guy?
It doesn't matter. Let's go. He doesn't know anything anyway.
Don't I? You can leave, but then you won't find out.
They hesitate, but don't move.
You want to tell her who I am, or should I do it for you?
Don't. Quinn.
I'm your dear brother's boss. But your boyfriend here clearly didn't want you to know that.
Boss?
Can you tell us where Artie is or not?
All I know is he came in here for supply a couple days ago. He's not due back until Wednesday, so until then, I'm not worried. If he's not back soon, though, you should be.
Me? Why?
Because someone's gonna have to pay me back for the 150 grams he took. I let my dealers out on credit, but there's hell to pay if they run off.
Dealers?
Ooh, it's fun when people don't turn out the way you pictured them, isn't it?
You didn't have to say anything. She didn't know.
You did, though.
Felicity stares at the men, appalled. Then she turns and rushes past John, out the door with a single jingle of the bell.
Damn.
Give my love to Drew, won't ya?
John runs after Felicity and out the front door. Back in the Sterling Manor woods, the sun is setting behind the trees. The inspector tramps noisily toward the house. The wind is picking up, rustling the trees around her. She picks up her pace. Suddenly, her foot catches on something and she falls to the ground, hard.
Ah, these damned office shoes.
She turns to assess her ankle and sees what she tripped on.
Well, hello, what are you doing out?
She drops
Jesus!
She drops the heavy object onto the forest floor.
Damn. You spend years training and working, still you leave your own fingerprints.
She gets to her feet clumsily, shucking her jacket. She bends down and uses it to pick up the piece of evidence.
Well, at least now we know what killed him.
Nighttime at Artie's apartment. Felicity is sitting on the couch, flipping aimlessly through the TV channels. John is over in the kitchen, boiling water. Felicity settles on a talk show, Dr. Phil or Judge Judy or something similarly mind-numbing. The kettle screams. John pours water into 2 mugs and walks over to the couch.
Tea?
Felicity takes the mug. John clears his throat awkwardly, then sits down next to her.
Ready to talk?
Felicity watches the television. There's a huge laugh from the live audience. She picks up the remote and switches it off.
Do you want me to go?
I don't want to be alone.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
How did you know?
Drew, that's my roommate, or he used to be before he moved out. He was a user for a while, just prescription stuff, that's all Quinn supplies. I wanted to get him off it, but one time Quinn came to our place with one of his new dealers, and it was Artie. I didn't know it was him then, obviously. I didn't know anything about him until...
Until the broadcast.
Right.
How long?
A year and a half, maybe? I should have told you earlier.
It's okay.
It's not.
Fine, it's not, but I forgive you. I just don't understand. He's doing fine. He's paying off his credit cards, my student loans. He said he was taking care of it.
You don't think that maybe this is what he meant?
I just can't believe it. I mean, Artie cares about his image more than anything. He would never risk it like this. So what if it's not true? What if...
Go on.
I don't know what you'll think.
It doesn't matter what I think. I like hearing what you have to say.
What if
Felicity
someone
puts
is
her-
setting him up? I mean, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. It seems like someone is trying to recreate his character from your radio show. I mean, think about it. First, they make him disappear. Now they're saying he's dealing illegal substances. It all fits.
You're right. It does.
They're ending his career before it starts by turning his life into some ridiculous fiction. I just have to figure out who.
But don't you think it could just be a coincidence?
Maybe. I mean, maybe he's just off with a girl and maybe he is dealing drugs, but it's too similar for me to just let it go. Please don't feel sorry for me right now. I've had enough of that in my life. And don't tell me that the twin intuition thing isn't real either, because it is ringing and it is. And don't tell me I'm crazy, John, because I've had enough of that for one day and I don't need it from you. From the others, fine, but from you...
I wasn't going to call you crazy.
Oh, good.
I don't think you're crazy. I think you're sort of wonderful.
Only sort of.
No, very.
Good.
I couldn't just start out at 10. I'd have nowhere to go.
You're a writer, aren't you? You'll figure it out.
He kisses her suddenly. It's long and sweet, and then they both melt out of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that, did you want to,
I
again?
definitely. Oh, if you want, I wouldn't want to. You're completely free to. Just because it's been a long time coming doesn't mean it's.
Okay, so yes.
Yes, yeah, yes.
Okay, then shut up.
She kisses him. He laughs a little bit and kisses her back. They sink awkwardly into the couch. It gets heated quickly. Felicity catches her breath.
You don't want to, would you, maybe want to stay?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, thank God.
She kisses him again and they get up, stumbling together towards the bedroom. Meanwhile, in the velvet-draped guest room at Sterling Manor, the inspector stands at the telephone, the moon peeking in through the second-story window. She is pacing as far as the phone will let her, dressing gown swishing on the hardwood.
A theory. Yes, sir. Though, truthfully, it seems too blatant to be the solution. Of course, real life rarely is convoluted. Still, with a murderer. It's the young man, the suitor from down the road, yes. He was the last one to see the gardener alive, and he was staying here on the night of Westwood's death. Then there's the murder weapon, the hood ornament snapped right off the front of the young man's car. It's an Auburn Speedster. The thing is practically a knife. Imagine using a pair of wings to hack a man to death. And the victim was seen heading toward the garage, the original location of the weapon, in the hour before his death. Still, he seems so meek, and I can't quite nail down a motive. No, I doubt I'll get much more out of any of them if I press. Except maybe one. I'll try again tomorrow. Yes, sir. What's that? Wait, read that to me again. And that's from the lawyer directly. Well, now that changes things. Listen, can you get someone to send over a copy of the...
Suddenly, a horrifying scream somewhere deep in the house.
I've got to go.
She hangs up the phone quickly and hurries to the door. It creeps open cautiously and she pads out into the hallway. A door bangs open up the hall and the doctor flies through it.
What's happened?
I don't know.
It came from Miss Westwood's wing.
They hurry down the hallway together. As they pass the staircase, the suitor comes pounding up it, panting hard.
Did you both hear that?
The inspector doesn't even stop, just races past towards the heiress's room. She flings the door open and tumbles inside, followed by the two men. At the base of the window, wrapped up in a silk kimono, is the heiress. Her hair is spilled down her shoulders, and she is shaking.
Ms. Westwood, are you all right?
The window. He's out there.
The inspector runs to the window and throws it open.
There's no one out there.
Can you hear me? Take a deep breath.
He was standing in the roses like he used to.
What's he talking about?
Who did you see? Did you take anything before bed?
He was so pale.
She must have been dreaming.
It wasn't a dream.
Ms. Westwood, who did you see?
My father. It was the ghost of my father.
Dramatic music fades out into the crackle of an old radio. It hums, sputters, and goes dead. End of episode 3. Great job, everybody. If you could, please change your names back. So, if we have any predictions happening in chat on Twitch, please, by all means, give them to us. But I would also like to turn the question over to the actors. So we got a lot of information about both the gardener and Artie, and I think John is starting to show that he knows a lot more than he lets on. There's also the possibility of a ghost.
There is a ghost. I was right. I said at
the
the
ghost of
beginning there was going to
Nicolas
be a
Cage.
ghost.
My prediction
it.
is that from here on out, we're just doing Hamlet.
Yes, it's
I
just
love it.
Hamlet now.
Just segueing
Halfway
straight
through.
into it.
Segue straight into Hamlet.
So if this is Hamlet, then who is Claudius and who is Gertrude?
I'm Titus.
Ooh. There you go.
Yeah, accurate.
I'll be both Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
You know what? I think you could make that work. I think you could handle that. So much
Well,
fun
Artie
new
is Laertes
information
for
this
sure.
episode. I could barely keep up.
I know.
Right? So what do you think was the biggest shocker to you? We got a lot. This was a really heavy chapter that really pushed a lot of things forward. But what do you think was the biggest revelation to you personally?
I think Artie as a drug dealer was honestly something I wasn't
that was pretty
expecting.
wild.
But also like
Yeah.
a drug dealer in the way that like 90s action movies did drug dealers where they go to like a graffiti warehouse and they're like, what's the password? Like that's very fun and I like that.
That was pretty funny. I like Felicity's theory that somebody's trying to like mimic Artie's life as the radio play because
Very
that ties
Pillow
in
Man.
really well to the phone call about like
It
staying
is.
away from the play. That also I don't know if they're like airing it on a weekly basis thing or if they're like recording it all at once and then airing it because that
Oh,
alters my theory of whether it's someone other than us. But if they're not airing it already, then it would have to be one of us because we'd be the only one who have the ability to like mirror the plot line. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm assuming that they're not airing it and that narrows it down to one of us. But if it's a true like literal radio play, then it would be airing as they record it. So I don't know.
John is definitely looking as innocent as he was prior to this
No,
episode.
yeah,
I
because he
told you,
literally
I told
wrote
you,
the
he's getting
thing.
sus. He's starting to be real
Yeah,
sus.
He's getting really
Sus.
sus.
Mhm.
It's all for some weird like method acting training.
Yeah, it's self-induced.
It's extremely
It
elaborate.
is. I loved Quinn. Eric, great job on
That
that.
was,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
fun.
Fun.
Was fun.
That was very fun. I'm glad I'm getting these sort of assholey type roles. I mean,
Oh my
I
god,
love
you're
doing
playing
that.
so many assholes.
What?
It's very
What are
easy
you
for me.
worried
It's a
about, your
horizontal
brother?
scale.
Shut up.
That was
Yeah,
really good.
It's like he came like out of Guys and Dolls and started dealing drugs in present day.
It's very newsies, and I love it.
It was already so retro drug dealer, and then Eric really said, "We're taking that like
all the way back.
all the way back."
It fits because you also find out that the gardener was a bootlegger on top of that, so you could
Yes.
definitely see like the
Mhm.
accent parallels
Like
there.
a
Loved it.
Nathan
I guess we
Detroit over here.
know. I guess we know that Artie is never gonna have a scene with his boss, or if he is, Eric's gonna have
Oh,
a really
yeah.
That'll
fun
be
time.
fun. That'll be very fun.
Wait, yeah,
Fingers
but yes,
crossed.
Very
please.
fun.
But I assume you were cast as Quinn. I assume somebody looked through it and was like, okay, they never talk to each other. Eric can do it, but I guess I don't really know.
Maybe
I'm
they look
just
through it and they're
assuming.
like, "Oh, he can do it. He's got it."
Yeah,
He'll be
maybe
fine.
maybe they have
Which
no
I don't
idea.
think
Maybe
I-
you're gonna have to talk to yourself because those seem like two characters who could at some point have a pretty lengthy interaction.
Yeah,
so you might
definitely.
have like a real interesting thing coming up there.
So Drew's dead, right? Are we all agreed on that?
Oh, Drew's
didn't move
totally
out.
dead.
Drew
Oh,
seems
right.
very dead.
You know what? Drew was probably the one
Oh,
who
God.
died in the very first scene.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, figured out
Well,
who
you're
that.
so.
yeah.
I forgot about that
Yeah,
guy.
there are
I did too.
two dead
I
bodies.
forgot about
left.
that man.
Mhm.
You're so right.
Moment of silence
Ooh.
for John's dead roommate.
For real,
Okay,
yeah.
well, if that's
Talk about
true,
John
then
being
it really
sus, yeah.
narrows it down, right?
Yep.
If that's true, then it narrows it down
That
to the people
also-
who knew who Drew
I gotta
was.
say that one's a little more like random than some of our other conclusions. We're like, oh, this other dead person, it must be the one other name that we have in the script
Yeah.
that isn't on screen with us.
That's fair.
It must
That's
be
fair.
Drew.
Well, to be fair, John said that was my roommate. Well, he
Before he
moved out.
moved out.
Yeah, that
Moved
was
out,
the
yeah.
that was the part that I got stuck on was moved out. And I
John's
what
real
else?
sus.
So what else? do you
Creative differences.
He moved
know,
out
yeah.
of the window.
So what else do you think John knows that he's not talking about?
What
We
do I
found
think
out that-
John knows?
Yeah.
I think it's possible that he knows somebody's mimicking the murders. I don't know if he's the one doing it, but like he
He
knows
paid someone
his
to
script
mimic
so well
them.
that he quotes it on accident. So I don't I
It's
highly
true.
doubt it was
I
not
think-
clear to him, that he was like, "Oh, this sounds like my script."
John also sells drugs. He uses his drug money to pay someone to act out his murders in order to get more buzz in the news that will lead to
Nice.
more listeners.
Yep.
Yeah, or
I love
maybe
that.
he's Quinn's boss, and he was like, "Listen, pretend that you're this other random, you know, like he's
Just
really
put
just
it
like
goes
he has
all
a
the way
whole
up.
underworld empire that he's running."
Yeah,
I like when
all for the glamorous world of having a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I like when Felicity's like, someone's trying to line up the murders with the script. And John's just like, weird. I wonder who wrote the scripts.
How crazy is
He
that?
That's
was
weird and
way too
wild.
nonchalant
What?
about that.
No.
He was way too
Yeah,
chill
He
with
was
that.
like, damn, that's
suggestion.
crazy. You're so
That's
hot.
wild,
though."
bro.
Yeah, I
Listen.
know. It was instantly like, God, do you think I'm crazy? Because I think my brother might be dead. And he's like, no,
Yeah.
baby, come here.
He's like,
No,
"No, man,
babe.
Let me
you're
console
great.
you real
You're so
quick."
great." Let's
But see, I can't
Tommy
decide if
Wiseau
he's
2.0,
guilty.
man.
I can't decide if he's guilty or just like really thinking with his dick and nothing else, you know?
Well, you know, if he's just thinking with his dick, there's two alternatives. Is that it could be the roommate, or it could be
His
Artie
dick, a
himself.
separate
Yeah,
character
maybe
entirely.
Maybe
yeah,
one of
that's
the-
the mystery character.
maybe someone stole the script and is doing it because like Artie's not a fan of John. Maybe he has the
That's
script
true.
and is like, I'm just
So
gonna
it's
skip it."
Artie framing John.
Yeah.
I knew-
Framing
Ooh.
Artie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
really
yeah.
just get away from
peeling
my
back
sister's
again.
tail.
And then Felicity gets stuck between her blood and her heart.
Oh, wow.
The classic
That's the
dilemma.
slogan.
No, I think she ends
deal
up
with
with
it every
Quinn.
day.
So does anyone in the audience have any predictions that they want to share with us? Does anyone have any predictions about what audience the predictions are?
Do I get to yell back at the chat?
No.
Yes.
No, you
Oh,
get to
oh,
be
sorry.
nice to our viewers.
Get out of Twitch, James.
You can be loudly
don't
nice.
log into
You can
Twitch. Get
yell
off of
nicely.
Twitch.
Get off of-
I'm in another tab streaming Cruelty Squad
Yeah, it's fair.
or Counter Strike, whatever video game. Is there really a Ghost Star Lord 51? I don't know. I didn't write it.
Yes, and he's the
Yes.
king of Denmark.
No, that's Drew. I think that's who you're thinking of. Drew, the mystery guy who fills in all
From-
possible other roles.
So
Yeah.
Caroline Lesney, the writer of this
Would
piece
know.
herself, wants to know what everyone thinks about the suitor house guest doctor argument and the Missy
yeah.
Sebastian argument on the couch. Yeah, we've been talking so much about the twist, we didn't look at the other parallels.
I
saw
have
the-
one,
the
I have one note
in-radio
for the
murder.
writer, and it's I would like the suitor to say, "Oh, it makes sense. Dollars and cents."
There you go. Yeah, can you edit the
Okay,
yeah,
script
we
instead
still
of
got
Caroline?
some- Put it in.
Let's just start editing the script. Forget about guesses. Just like
Hi,
James
yeah, I have
writing it as
notes.
we go the whole time.
Yeah. Just slide it in
Um,
somewhere. She can't stop
That's a
you.
good parallel, actually.
live
I didn't
stream.
even think about that. I
Mhm.
think because
Yeah.
Irene didn't really talk much in the real life one, but then the house guest was talking the whole time in the other one, so it didn't
Mhm.
really like trigger as a parallel for me. I still think the house guest was trying to hook up with the doctor. I don't know. There was something going on there.
As she should.
yeah,
get
well
that
they
money.
really he was like, you murdered him, and then about 3 beats later he was like, yeah, another drink. Sure.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
they
literally.
might be having like a real thing.
Both of
happening.
your
Who
characters
knows?
just think with their dicks, Kevin.
The parallels.
Niche.
So before
Listen,
we-
we've got a Joffrey and we've got to think with the dick guy. Like that's
It's called
that's what we need.
objective. It's called objective work.
Look, we,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
all,
Yeah.
we
Clearly, I
all-
did my character building. All right, I took time.
Super
Hey,
objective
yeah,
to
we-
get laid.
we all have our strengths that we're known for, and sometimes it's thinking with our dicks. So just one last, does anyone have anything that they want to say that about the Missy Sebastian argument before we wrap this up?
That's a big question mark to me because the ending and how only Felicity picked up that it was really abrupt. I have nothing constructive to add there, but I
Oh
Question mark.
yeah.
Yeah, that was freaky.
That
Yeah.
It
was
was.
weird. Like a little
Mhm.
Twilight Zone. And then again,
eerie.
like Felicity's like, nah. It's probably
Which is
fine.
weird because I was right.
Yeah.
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 I don't know
Oh
why
my
there was
God.
an argument.
That's something that we'll,
It's like-
Such a
I
good
don't know why
point,
my
James.
characters have conflicts and things because they're always right.
Oh my god.
hey, look,
Really weird. That's
something-
another note for Caroline.
that's something that I think we'll then be just talking about next week is how much it seems like Felicity is gaslighting herself even in a
Little
lot of
bit,
ways.
She's doing it to
Dang.
She's
herself.
doing it to
That's
herself.
Wow.
victim blaming. We can
everyone-
all
Cut
throw
that
around
out,
buzzwords.
But everyone, well,
I
hey,
think every room that Felicity walks into, they just have a faulty carbon monoxide filter.
She's just
Every
right.
single
There's
one.
going to be a zoom
And nobody
out.
else is affected. There's just,
Everyone else
she's just
is fine.
alone in a bunch
There's
of
going to be a zoom out where
horribly filtered
Felicity's in a
rooms.
straight. I'm talking over you. There's going to be a zoom out where Felicity's in a straight jacket, and it's like
Yeah.
a picture of like the ward, and it's like imposter syndrome ward, and she's like debilitated with imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Felicity
my
is
God.
Not
a
even a
real
little bit
writer.
what that word means.
She's writing about all this.
No one knows what that means.
The worst recorded case of imposter syndrome.
Not even a little bit what imposter syndrome means.
I'm thinking like, well, I'm waiting for it to tie in somehow.
Just like at like NA, just being like, yeah, no, I just got out of inpatient for imposter syndrome.
Maybe we find out that
12-step program.
this whole thing is some kind of Truman Show situation.
I got
The
very
Yeah.
like
Truman
Matrix
Show.
vibes off of
Players,
that, like
players,
that scene,
players, the
definitely.
Matrix.
I mean, that'd be so elaborate, but I love it.
Yeah.
The Twilight
yeah.
Zone, one of us is playing Rod Sterling at the end of this.
Caroline,
doubt that-
did I actually get it right when I said this was Michael Douglas's The Game? It's like if you're undercover, you have to tell
We're
me.
not going to ask Caroline to give a spoiler.
Yeah, we can.
Also, sorry.
But we
everyone.
are
Also,
going to
Yeah,
ask
separate email
her to
chain.
write in dollars and cents in the
Yes.
script. We are asking that.
Stuff it in there.
Just
Just all right
ad-lib
as
it.
non-union
in there.
actors.
She just got back from like a cafe today, having wrapped the final episode. Now we're like,
Like,
another
back.
line, please.
Wrong. I can't work in these conditions.
Well, thank you so much to all of you for your wonderful talents today. Great work as always. Very much looking forward to how we build on this story next week. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much to all of our listeners and the crew at Platform Productions. Cold Cuts is based on an original idea by writing producer Declan Grogan. The broadcast is written by Caroline Lesney, and music is by Vincenzo Torciello. We do this every Saturday, and every Tuesday, the videos are going to be posted on YouTube, and the audio will be available on all streaming platforms. Make sure to follow us on all social media at Platform Prodco, PLATFORMPRODCO for more. And we will see you next time. We will see you on all subsequent Saturdays at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Or yes, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know how time works. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you next week.